My name is John Wayne Vogels. I am the executive director and founder of the Martyred Angels Foundation. I started this organization after the unfortunate tragedy of my 3-year-old son, Bladen James Wayne Vogels, on April 9th, 2011, due to a drowning accident. After this accident, my family and I realized the resources that were available for this type of experience were either limited or completely absent, and in some cases were removed and funds were reallocated to different areas. Because of this experience, this was the beginning of the Martyred Angels Foundation in memory of my son and also in memory of all the other families that have lost a child due to my wife's history and family background in the military, extensive military service. We also provide services to not just civilians, but Gold Star families, veterans, and any and all emergency responders directly affected by this experience due to the experience that we had seen them go through and the counseling that they had to receive immediately following as well. So that is the reason why I started the Martyred Angels Foundation. My organization is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We do provide various different resources. The one most extensive is the equine therapy program that we provide. This program has surprisingly become immediately results with how we provide this service. It is a very unique and specific program. But we've also partnered with the International Star Registry, formation of group therapies, group meetings. The vision and mission of this organization is to acquire property in order to incorporate our equine campground idea. This idea will provide a much more private and secure location for families, but also one more comforting and allowing families to become more open and provide a better service for them. At the same time, this is designed to benefit everybody. So this would bring on interns, this would bring on more grant opportunities. This would also be very, very transparent in the way that it is designed, and it is a very unique campground design. So our services are extensive. And once again, we provide these services to civilians, veterans, Gold Star families, and any and all emergency responders. This is so important. This will allow all of us to come together and provide one big support group for everyone. And unfortunately, statistics is what we're trying to reduce. Currently, the statistics that were researched by Fox 31 News in a previous interview I had, they stated that 80% of marriages end in divorce immediately following the death of a child. This is followed by loss of income, loss of material things such as homes, cars, other items. Some have become homeless, battling drug addiction, alcohol addiction. Others have had either suicide attempts, and unfortunately some have been successful in suicide. And although people say that time heals all wounds, this is not the case when it comes to statistics after the loss of a child. Actually, after several years have passed, it becomes increasingly worse on the parents and the families. These are statistics that we are trying to reduce and trying to provide a much better support and resource for these families. And with the design that we have and the resources and programs that we've implemented, this does have the extreme potential, possibility, and proven results that we can reduce these statistics dramatically. We are headed for extreme success. That's where we're headed. So we currently have programs in place, resources in place that we provide services to, and that is at a private area, at a private barn. However, although the resources are very effective at this place, it is open to public and private lessons. So where we're headed in the direction of acquiring property to incorporate the equine campground concept that we have. This idea, this concept, not only will allow us to become more successful with our programs and our resources that we provide, but also allow it to be more private and confidential, but also very transparent for those that donate, invest, or become supportive of what we're doing. So the direction that we're headed to expand. We're headed to expand have property connected to Forest Service property, so we can not only take the program that we have, the equine therapy program, and our other program and resources on our property, but we can also expand it onto the Forest Service and make this a very unique opportunity for all the families. We're also expanding with the International Star Registry partnership to have an observatory that would also allow astrologers and astronomers to come on board to not only direct the telescope in the direction of the star named after the child or individual, but then have somebody describe the significance and importance behind this star. This also allows a more private setting, more comfortable setting. With this concept that we have, it has not only become extremely successful immediately, it also allows us to have more success with more families available to come on board. And this will also allow us to expand, not just here in Colorado. This will all allow us to expand in many other states to provide the same services, so families don't have to travel so far, and also allow families the resources immediately in their area. The other thing that makes this idea and concept that is very, very unique is that as different for other organizations, and although they do exceptional work, however, they're limited and have a smaller capacity. By what I mean by that is, most of them have meetings maybe once or twice a month, and then there's an extensive amount of time in between that these families have to wait for services. The way this is designed, the way that we have designed the Martyred Angels Foundation and this equine campground, once families have come on and have gone through our program, afterwards, this will allow them to have 24/7 access to the property. Because anybody that suffered from PTSD knows that PTSD does not have a clock. It does not care what time it is. It doesn't care where the little hand is. It does not care where the big hand is. And it does not care where that ticking second hand is. PTSD affects any time of the night, any time of the day, 24/7. With that, and with our idea and our concept, this will allow these families to have a resource to come to that is open to them 24/7 to help them with these struggles. So what we can do today for a better tomorrow, that is very, very easy. Just simply get behind the Martyred Angels Foundation. Through your support, invest in what we're doing, support what we're doing, become a donor of what we're doing, become involved with the Martyred Angels. We have so many different areas. We have the equine therapy program, International Star Registry, group meetings, group support. There's also a very unique opportunity for a motorcycle attachment, in which this is a story I really love to tell. So when both of my children turned 1, I would put them on the front seat of my motorcycle with me. We would do circles in our cul-de-sac and go up and down the road. My kids absolutely loved riding this motorcycle. However, due to my work schedule, I did have extensive times where I was on call 24/7. So in this one particular moment, I did an on-call, and then I had to do my work shift. When I got home, typically when the kids would hear me coming down the road, they would either have their faces pressed up against the glass door waiting, or they'd be out the mailbox. At this particular time, they were out the mailbox waiting for their ride. However, I was really tired, so when I rolled up, I told the kids, listen, Dad can't give you a ride today, I'm just too tired. So I pulled my motorcycle into the garage and I park it, and I never locked it, never had a reason to, such a secure garage. And since this is a 98 Road King, it is carbureted. So this is key to the story. So when I park the motorcycle, I get off the bike, I go into the house, I make something to eat, then I make something to drink. And this took a little bit of time because, of course, I'm playing with the kids at the same time. However, when I go downstairs to sit down to take a little time to relax, I hear the starter engaging on my motorcycle. Now, my son Bladen was 2 at this time. So I run upstairs and I open up the garage door. And as I look, there's Bladen. He climbed up the side of my bike, was standing on my tanks. I have 18-inch risers on my bike. Bladen had his left hand gripping that handlebar. I never noticed him paying attention to how I started this bike. He wanted to go for a ride so bad, he was going to take himself for a ride. So he turned the ignition switch on and he was hitting the start button. And I just went, oh my God. So I ran up, I'm like, Bladen, no. So I grabbed him off the bike. Ever since then, I locked the bike up. Even if I'm a foot away from it, it's locked. However, I couldn't think of a better tribute than to include that into the organization. So there's a motorcycle membership attachment, equine therapy, International Star Registry, group meetings, group support, and once again, just that huge volume of support between civilians, Gold Star families, veterans, and any and all emergency responders. This design that we have benefits everybody. Nobody is left behind. Nobody is left out. The best way to help us move forward is to become involved to whatever capacity, donation, investment, support. Reach out anytime to the Martyred Angels Foundation, and we would love to have you involved. Thank you.